This video is going to be about our review on the Baja Mexico.
From the point of view of being a snowbird.
So let's get into the video.
Let's go.
We're now on our way back after spending the last 2 months in Baja, Mexico. And we're traveling all the way back to Vancouver. So what we're gonna do is, while we're traveling, we're gonna talk a little bit about the review of the Baja through the eyes of a snowbird. So the 6 points we're looking at is what's the cost of living like, safety and security, transportation, what's there to do, healthcare of course, and then we're gonna review the pros and cons of being a snowbird on the Baja.
Number one, cost of living.
First of all, you can take a look at, we did a video already on groceries when we compared it to the cost from Canada before we left.
And one on gas.
Yeah, we did a short on gasoline also. But generally, we've noticed the cost of living has gone up. Even from a year ago, the time we were down here before.
Like it has all around the world, really.
Yeah, it's
From
not just
hear.
Mexico, but
Yeah.
it is more expensive here now.
It is, yeah.
One thing to note is the exchange rate did change quite a bit too. So Canadian, we used to be 15 pesos to the dollar, and now it's only 13 pesos to the dollar. So that's a 10% change just on its own. But a lot of the things we found were about 30% higher than this time last year. So is it an inexpensive holiday anymore?
Not so much.
I wouldn't say so. Now the one thing to take note of is down in Mexico, whenever you buy things, you don't really see tax on anything. Whatever's on the sticker is what you pay, and what's on the menu is what you pay. But in fact, there's actually a 16% tax on everything down here. They call it VAT. So in Mexico, what they need to do at restaurants, if they don't include the tax in the price, they have to put it on the menu that all prices are excluding tax. So all of a sudden you'll go to a restaurant and it'll seem a little bit cheaper, and then all of a sudden you get the La Cuenta at the end, and there's 16% tax on top, and that's not the tip.
Gulp.
So sometimes it's a bit of a surprise if you don't read the menu. Oh, Lucinda, you know what I forgot to mention during that section?
What, Craig?
Our favorite topic, real estate.
Well, your favorite topic.
So one other thing is buying versus renting. And I'm going to have a separate video for that, and it's coming out next. Oh, hey, look what's ahead of us. It's a security checkpoint. And that'll be our next video. No, that'll be our next point on this video, is safety and security. Okay. But here we are at a checkpoint. Oh, it's chilly out this morning.
I had to put pants on and a jacket.
We're here in Guerrero Negro this morning, day 2 heading home, and it's chilly. It's only 14 degrees Celsius this morning. Safety and security. Did we feel safe in Mexico?
Lots of people have lots of opinions about that, Craig. We felt safe all the time.
You know, if you've never been to Mexico before, it can be intimidating when you see all these armed forces all over the place. Mm-hmm. Like for instance, when we were driving south, there's 5 different military check stops that you go through, and they got armed guards, National Guard there. And it can be intimidating, but actually they're very simple to go through. Here's a couple of clips.
To the border.
We're going to Vancouver, Canada, but we're going to the border today, and we'll end up in Calexico by the end of today. Calexico.
Okay. Okay, gracias.
Gracias.
As the holidays drew closer, we even saw military personnel on the beaches, but usually they were there with the first aid people, and we found, just like on the Malecon, I think it's a show of presence is what it is, to discourage anything from happening, because we never saw anything.
In our whole 2 months down here, we actually never saw a problem anywhere, and we didn't feel intimidated, because I was even walking around at times at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah,
and
for Baja 1000.
And I never felt intimidated.
I was not walking around.
The different forces that you will see here is, of course, the city police. You'll see the National Guard. You'll see
the Marines,
the Marine Police, and the Army.
Yeah.
Anyhow,
and it can be surprising if you see them, because they very often are carrying very big guns with them.
yeah.
And that's very strange to us, especially from Canada. But they were all very friendly when we stopped and talked or said hello to people. They were really great.
Anyhow, the short answer is yes, we felt safe down here on the Baja. Number 3, transportation. Now, we've been down to the Baja several times in the past, and the last 2 trips we've elected to drive down. Being retired, we have the luxury of time to be able to spend the time to drive down. Now, we're on Highway 5, heading north right now to San Felipe. But by having the ability to drive down, we don't miss views like this. Of course, San Jose del Cabo is the international airport. They do have bus and charter services to get you back to La Paz. In La Paz, there is public transportation, but I wasn't able to find out schedules, routes, or costs there. We did see it quite often, but we didn't try it. There is taxi and Uber there. The one thing is, to get to the La Paz airport, which is a domestic airport, only taxis will go there. Ubers are not allowed there. It seemed to me when I saw that on the Malecon, the taxi prices were pretty reasonable. The one thing they do have there, if you stay close to the Malecon, at the bus station on the Malecon, they have the Playa bus. And that will get you out to the beaches that are just north and east of La Paz. Now, we like exploring around, as you can see by our videos. That's the convenience of having your own vehicle down here. That's why we do that. Now, the Malecon has excellent bike paths on there, so if you elect to do that, they do rent bikes on the Malecon, and even these bike cars. But what I would recommend is you investigate for yourself of what you think is best. We're now here in San Felipe, Mexico for topic number 4 of snowbirding on the Baja.
Craig.
Yes.
What's there to do in La Paz? Well, one of the big draws for us has always been the Malecon. That's boardwalk in Spanish. And there's always something going on there.
That's right. Like when we first got there, there was Halloween.
Then there was Dia de Muertos.
And then the Baja 1000. That was where the start line was.
There was even a beer and pizza festival. I love that one.
And like every Sunday night, it's like family night down there. It gets so busy down there. And there's always something going on, like vehicle parades and those loud boom cars.
Yeah, they decorate it. It's beautiful down there.
And of course, all the restaurants are down there.
You can dodge all the bicycle cars and try not to get taken out by a scooter or a skateboard.
And what else is there to do in La Paz?
Another place we really like to walk to is the downtown or the uptown, the old center where the square is, and the old cathedral and the museum, art gallery. It's beautiful up there. Lots of great restaurants up there.
And then some of the things they got there that we didn't do is they got tennis courts, and they just started a pickleball league there.
I did go to yoga classes. I joined the local cruisers club. Not that kind of cruising. It's the sailboat people. And I went to yoga lots of days.
And of course, with the marina, there's lots of boating, and then there's fishing tours you can take. There's a whale shark tour you can take. And of course, there's all the beaches, but you guys have already seen the videos for that.
If you haven't, you should check out our videos on the beaches.
So really, you can be as busy as you want there, or you can be as lazy as you want. Okay, let's get to bullet point number 5.
Craig.
Yes.
I don't think we're in Mexico anymore.
We're in the USA now. And speaking of the USA, let's talk healthcare. So in Mexico, the healthcare, what we found out when we were down there, we were actually pretty close to the hospital where we were staying, and we walked by it several times. And it looked pretty darn nice.
It did.
But they do have a lot of private clinics there, and what do they call it again?
Medical tourism.
Medical tourism is a big thing down there for dental and medical.
Yeah, we went to the dentist, and I actually did need a little bit of medical care when we were down there. I got stung by a stingray. I was doing the stingray shuffle. I can tell you that's one of the most painful things ever, and I have a tattoo on my other foot, so I know what I'm talking about. Anyways, during the holiday season, the Marines had medical teams, emergency medical teams at most of the major beaches, and luckily it happened while they were there, and so they took care of everything. And
it was all free of charge.
Yep.
Anyhow, we do recommend that when you do travel down there, pull out travel insurance, because you never know if it's going to cost or add up.
We always do.
And while we were down there, our host gave us a list of numbers, and actually 911 is the first one you call. So here's the list they gave us. Okay, we've had a couple of days to think about it, and what's the pros and cons about potentially snowbirding in the Paz Mexico? So
a big one is it's close enough to drive to, so we can have our car. There's lots of exploring to be done, and we love doing that kind of stuff.
and also our friends and family can come down and join us, because if you want to fly, it's only a few hours away.
That's right. Well, the beaches.
Yeah, the weather and the beaches.
And
that's a big draw for me.
And the culture, the Mexican culture, and the fun, holidays and things that are going on. There's always something happening in La Paz because it's the capital of Baja California Sur.
And the food. So that's the pros.
It's muy bueno.
Now for the cons. What are the things that maybe not so great about thinking about La Paz as a snowbird location?
Well, you got to watch those sidewalks because they're really uneven. Not at the Malecon, but pretty much everywhere else. You got to watch where you're walking.
These sidewalks, you got to really be careful because the next step is a doozy.
And also pedestrians do not have the right of way, but that's okay. You just got to watch for yourself.
One thing for me is it's not really a cheap holiday anymore. Boy, it's got a lot more expensive. The other thing is you got to be willing to see a little bit of garbage on the side of the roads from time to time.
Yeah.
The standards there are not quite what we're used to in Canada and the US.
Yeah, and the other one...
The beaches and the people.
Oh yeah, so a lot of places there's people trying to sell you tours or trinkets.
Especially on the beaches and the tourist areas.
Yeah, along the Malecon is not too bad, but some of the beaches in Cabo was crazy for that. So,
are they showstoppers? Probably not. But what will we do? Numbers in case anything happens, and 911 is one thing they... We're now here in San Felipe, Baja, Mexico for topic number 4 of first snow.
I thought it was my line and you screwed up.
Okay.